And good morning. It is March 8th in the year 2019, coming to you from Colorado. Looking forward to the snowstorm melting, passing by, and the arrival of spring. We're going to be looking at this video, Anti Fascist Meets Proud Boy in Portland, What Happened? And I want to give my commentary. I want to provide some feedback as an independent that is not associated with either group, as a person who was on the air in Portland, Oregon, as an independent in a world where I felt incredibly judged by the left and later by the right for being a true independent and an extreme minority, son of a white woman, son of a Middle Eastern father, someone that was not supported by the left in my own endeavors to expose the rise of the far right before it was cool. And I kind of want to add a little emphasis on that because I've been called a conspiracy theorist and I've been treated like shit by the Portland left for warning about the rise of the far right for many, many years and not stooping to their tactics. I've even been insulted by people in Portland by not being as interested in the type of shutting down the city type of tactics and being told that I was just a talker. You just talk by being a philosopher. And yet, Louise can be here and he could be in a situation to where he's forced to not be violent, but to use his intelligence to state what it is that he is all about. If we kind of remove the socialist actual terms that he uses, universal health care and other buzzwords that he himself did not create, if we talk about the ideas that they purport to be about humanity, that's what I'm about without the buzzwords and politics, without the cute girlfriend with pink hair, without anyone in my corner. Let's see Louise, a guy like Louise, do what Alex Ansary's done. Get alienated by your own hometown because you're that fucking different. To be forced to live in the heart of far-right extremist territory, enemy territory, behind enemy lines, to not even have a Thai restaurant within reach, or a supposed open, loving arms of people that say that they're not like the others. I don't have that. And so there really are some of us that are so alienated from both societies. I explained to every person that thinks they want to place some judgment on me like I'm some sort of far left anti-fa Democrat. And I'm just going to assume now that everybody places that judgment because of what I see on the internet. You're either over here or you're over here. If you don't love Daddy Trump and you're exposing the military industrial complex, you must be anti-fa. And people need to understand that I watched this whole thing. Never once did either of these men talk about the devastation in the Middle East. And when you listen to Louise and you understand his buzzwords, this is like some advice for those of you that claim that you really are trying to bring some positive change. How can you? And how did you? And how are you? If you do not recognize that there are millions of people that are dying right now in Afghanistan and Iraq, and you guys somehow deliberately make it about yourself as just Hispanics, Native Americans, just repeating a line about stolen land and discussing issues down at the border. What about how many of your ethnicities come together to stomp on the face of the Middle East? Why does an anti-FA promote an anti-war movement in Portland where you stand against genocide? You don't take a stand against genocide. You say Black Lives Matter, but you don't say Afghan Lives Matter. And you have the balls and tits to call the other side the white supremacists. Fuck you.
All right, guys. So, look, first of all, I'm just going to go over the rules.
Okay.
We don't want any violence. Number one, no violence.
No violence.
Can we stay seated?
Stay seated.
Stay seated. I know that it's going to get heated, but
you
I
wanna,
ask you to
stand
stay.
up
I don't want you to
yeah,
stand up. I don't want you to jumping around. All right? No crossing the table. And I want to keep it civil. Right? We're going to talk about some tough stuff. If we break the rules, we're just going to shut it down. There are going to be some tough questions. I hope that you guys can just keep your heads.
Hey, Lewis, will you take off your glasses, dog? I feel so much more like I'm interacting.
So after this introduction, I explained to you that I'm an independent that is from Portland. And I talked about a lot of premonitions that I felt of the future that people laughed at, specifically Portlanders, that specifically now act like they're upset about the direction our nation's in. When I was looking long term under Obama, and that was seen as hateful. It was seen as hateful to look long term from the time frame of the Obama presidency. There were even some people that were not necessarily like in with everything that Obama was doing, but they're again like, you're either going to be with us, they say, the socialists, the anti-fa, you're either going to be with us, you're either going to agree with everything that we do, or we throw you under the bus. One of the things that I've learned from certain activists that I won't even mention their names, people that are white will allow other whites to criticize them at a level, this includes the left, in which they don't give people that aren't as white the same pass. They'll throw a guy like me under the bus faster for merely criticizing them blocking traffic, while they themselves think about a certain activist that films the police aligned with someone else that films the police who's aligned with the right, but the other guy's with the left. You know what I'm talking about. That's an example of how they will allow themselves to be that free, that where they are those so different politically because they're less different racially. And that's a truth. That's a truth serum that people on the left and the right can't take. That's why videos like this will be strongly disliked in some cases, because it's going to trigger people that are on both sides. And a guy like me has the talent to show that both sides will be unified on one level and one level only in some cases. Their anger against me that sees through their left-right bullshit. A guy like me doesn't live in a world where there's a right versus a left. People like me have been living our lives even before 9/11 happened, knowing that our extreme racial difference has no safe space. And that's what people of color that are Hispanic, Native American, Asian, African American, people that don't associate with other forms of diversity, like when you have some Middle Eastern blood in you, that's one of the hatest forms of life at present. There's a propaganda move on both the left to say, no, 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 we welcome all people, and a propaganda move on the right to say, oh, no, it's just about radical Islam. This is totally not about race. Yeah, tell me another one while I watch your president with radical Muslims in Saudi Arabia kill innocent people in Yemen. See, you can't fuck with the person and fuck with my mind when I know what the system is doing. It's involved in genocide, and Antifa can't call out the genocide of the Middle East because they don't really think that's what's going on. Because if Luis really thought there was genocide in the Middle East, he would fucking say something. Luis, I would tear you apart in seconds over your lack of genuine concern about the white supremacy in the Middle East. The fact that you are considered a leader in Portland against white supremacy. Man, if only I had 1 minute in a room with you to throw you up against the wall and show you, like Ghost Rider, look into your eyes and show you what real pain is as a result of the Nazi stomping on the face of the Middle East. I don't think you know what it's like to truly be isolated from all members of your own species. Do you know what it's like to be thrown under the bus and be left homeless when you're a real minority? Like, you laugh at those of us that are homeless and have no community. You did it at the end of this interview. You didn't just insult him, the guy on the left. You insulted minorities like me who have no community, that were exiled from Portland. You triggered me, motherfucker. I'll take those laces off your boots, and choke you with them, you ugly motherfucker on the right. See, you act like you're so different that you are the one to stop people like me from being put in the gas chambers. It's because of people like you that the people on the left are going to be more excited, you motherfucker, about putting people like me in the gas chambers. If only people like your girlfriend could wake up and understand that they're not supporting real minorities.
With you, if I could see your eyes, dog.
Lewis,
Excuse me?
so,
No.
okay.
You know where?
So Luis here is here to play a role. Luis is an actor in this scenario. He's here to play a tough guy. He's got groupies waiting for him afterwards, right? He's not alone. He's not walking the streets alone. He's some sort of like celebrity internet hero that can act like a ninja and go from, doesn't mean he's not living a dangerous life, doesn't mean that his family hasn't been threatened. It means that even though those things are taking place, he's still playing this role despite the risk he put his girlfriend in, despite the danger he put his daughter in. He still is going to continue to play this role, and yet he will not speak of the genocide in the Middle East.
At least he doesn't want to take off the
Oh,
glasses.
what a hero. This is our hope, America. This is the go-to for the BBC. Traveling into the city of my birth. Is that the city of your birth, Louise? No, it's the city of my birth that I was exiled from for not being cool enough to the hipsters. Oh, that's right. They didn't want to hear Alex Ansary talk about a rise of the right under Obama and the future of America and Russia. But it's okay if Maddow and others in your media or KBOO or others are going to be reporting on the things that are taking place. But yet I did it without a mask while actually having a face of a foreigner, yet never having left the state of Oregon for most of my life, the state of my birth, cursed with the face of a foreigner, speaking for years to an all-white audience in Portland on the left that didn't have a place for me, either at its places of employment. And now I understand that despite the last 3 years of you supposedly standing up, why you don't speak to me, why you don't email me, why you don't let me know that you're there and you appreciate the fact that I am alive. You resent me. You resent the fact that I will stand in the way of you acting like you're white saviors. You're not white saviors. There is none of you in the Portland area except for maybe like one guy that even lets me know that he knows that I'm alive. There are those of you that come and go throughout my life that have been Portlanders, that have never seen the uniqueness of my content and the risks that I took to bring you the truth. And instead, you've shown yourself to be exactly all Portlanders have ever been. You haven't evolved. The idea of a more progressive Portland image is more of a marketing scheme. You're marketing your city. I mean, you yourself are adding to the higher property values by acting like you stand against hate when you actually showed me hate. Hate can exist beyond just simply right-wing white supremacy. There's left-wing white supremacy, and there's other forms of hate that are not limited to racism. You can hate somebody because of their ideas. You can point your fucking finger and scream at me that I'm a right-winger when you know damn well that was propaganda that you as Portland was using to marginalize me as something that you didn't want and something that you didn't like.
No, why not, man? All right, that's cool. I'll tell you what, man. When you take your glasses off in about 15 minutes, I'll understand. All
Okay,
right?
all right. Let's start. I'm going to start by asking you.
No, you know what? Let's not start. I'm not going to continue doing this video anymore. I am so enraged with the white silence and white denial of the Portland left.